Welcome back to the Technology Unhinged YouTube video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Zhone MPX 160. So what this is a DSLAM, which stands for Digital Subscriber Line Access Multiplexer. And if you saw my last video, I overviewed or just showed you guys this thing. It wasn't turned on or anything. Today's video we're going to actually be setting this thing up. This is going to be an overview of this device, setting this thing up, and yeah, getting some POTS lines to work. So we're going to go over some ports and some other stuff, but first I'm going to take a look at the label here. So you'll notice that this device was made in 2016, so it's actually relatively newer. And then you'll also notice that it requires 48 volts and at least 3 amps. So those are two things that we need to keep in mind. And if you take a look online, you'll find several different power supplies. Just choose one of them, one with preferably good reviews, and buy it. This is a cheap one from Amazon. There's no branding on this. I have no idea what brand it is, but it was actually here. It just labeled for LED indoor power supply, 500 watts, 48 volts. This is more than capable of handling this thing. I have tried it. It does work. With these power supplies, just keep in mind you're gonna need a 3-pronged plug like this, and the end is gonna need to be cut so you can wire it up. I'm not gonna show you how to wire that part up because that's not really the focus or scope of this video. What's the scope of this video is wiring the 48 volt side up and also the grounding. So on these devices, it's important to have a ground. I don't know if this device requires it to turn on. It's got a lot of protections in it that I wasn't aware of when I initially set this thing up, but the grounding screw is right here, and you just screw the little ground wire on. You know, of course, this is just standard North American plugs wiring, so if you're in the UK or something else, this is probably, I mean, it'll probably be similar, but not the same. You guys are 240, we're 120 over here. But keep in mind that the green wire is ground here, and that's what I have hooked up to this weird blue wire that is actually meant for a ballast. So yes, I'm an electrician. No, I'm not an electrician, so don't copy any of the shit that I'm doing in this video because these wires are definitely not rated for 3 amps. But I'm doubling them up. That doesn't matter, actually. It's not rated for 3 amps, probably. I don't even know what these are rated for, but they're like, they say 300 volts. But how many amps, though, is the question. There's that. Again, looking at this, so plus and minus. So positive is our red wires here in this case, and negative is the blue wires. Apologize for that other noise. That's a solar inverter that is really stupid and doesn't work very well. So looking at the device itself, we're going to take a look, and you'll notice that... Alright, so this device has a terminal block here. And I'll pan you down here to look at it. Now, this terminal block is weird. So on regular telecom equipment, 48 volts DC is reversed. So the negative becomes the positive and the positive becomes negative. And that has to do with corrosion, mitigation, and other things on the line. But in this case, on this specific device, this manufacturer decided to ignore the laws of any telecom equipment and just wire it up like a normal 48 volt DC power supply. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take your positive to your positive and your negative to your negative. And ignore everything else I just said. Another thing that's weird about this device, if you only power one of these legs, so there are 4 different terminals here. These 2 are one leg and these 2 are another leg. So if you only power one of these legs, this device will not power on. For whatever reason, the power management system in here likes to see both legs powered before it powers on. I don't know if that's just redundancy or what, but I mean, there's no manuals. I can't find any manuals on this device that are free to access. So we just take whatever wire we've got, and I'm just wiring these, as I said I was going to do. Just let the little thingy grab onto it. Make sure it don't come out. Take the other leg here and shove it in the hole. Perfect. And finally, we need to take our ground wires and also wire those up. Now these wires are tiny little bit shorter. We'll show you when it's done. Now that that side's done. Oh God, that sounded awful. Come over here, please, and wire your ground wire on. Standard North American typical ballast wire. I promise I know what I'm doing. I mean, I haven't burnt the house down yet. There we go. All right, perfect. So now that you've done that, I almost forgot I didn't go over the ports. So this device has several different ports on it, and I'm going to explain those here. So starting over here, we have the terminals, the power terminals, obviously. These are our alarm ports. So in a telecom office, in your central office, you would have an alarm system that would alert you if anything is wrong in the plant. In this case, I don't have that set up, and I probably won't have that set up ever. So it's just simple relay terminals inside. That's why there's common and ground, and normally closed and normally open. It's because there's just relays in here that just close whenever there's a problem. And you can have that wired up to maybe a fire alarm or like some other device that could get your attention, like a bell or something. Moving on, we have a serial port. I couldn't get this to work. I don't know what it is. I don't know what type of serial port it is or what it requires, but whatever cable I used did not work, and I don't care about that anyways. The link and activity, this is actually your management port. So this is what you plug into the switch for management. This will I'll be plugging in later for management, just to show you like how to configure this device and stuff. And port 1 and port 2, port 2 and port 3, which are our downlink and uplink ports. So these can be for services, if you're operating video services or phone services in our case. And I believe it'll even do DSL. And then you got your SFP ports, and these are for your fiber backbone. So in a regular central office use case, this would be out in the field, and it would be connected to the fiber backbone of whatever ISP. This is what your internet traffic would come from. This is where your internet traffic would come from, and that's where this IP address is that I have blocked off over here just for privacy reasons. This IP address that's under here, this would be the IP address of this node, and then you can configure it and do bridging and that sort of thing over the backbone network to be able to configure it. There's a MAC address here, serial number, and these two other ports, which I believe are just uplink and downlink, more uplink and downlink ports if you needed them. I'm not going to use any of these SFP ports because I don't even know what SFP this thing even requires, if any. So I'm just going to completely ignore it. Now there's another alarm port. This device I think can like take in alarms and relay them or something over SNMP, and I'm not going to do that. And this is our VDSL port. Now this is the important part. This is going to take a standard telco AMP connector. This is the shittiest, most crappy cable I've ever owned, but it is nonetheless works. What this is a 25 pin cable, 25 pair cable, excuse me. So there's 50 pins here, and this is going to plug in here. So this, I think this is a male. Yeah, it's a male, so it needs to plug into the female port, and then they can make babies. So you just plug it in like this, and we're going to do that now, just so I can show you how to connect everything up. And basically what this does is each pin maps to a pair of cables, which come out here. And this is your pair of cables. So there are 25 pairs of wires here, as you can see. Ooh boy. We're gonna get close, real close. There are 25 pairs of wires here. And I have gone ahead and chosen a pair. So I'm using, I believe, if you continuity test on the male side of the cable, just take your voltage meter, your amp meter, and do a continuity test on each of these pins with the wires, and then you'll figure out which wire correlates with which pin on here, and that'll help you. You're gonna have to do some kind of reverse engineering of the telephone too to figure out like which leg is positive and negative for like the actual telephone side. You're gonna have to, if you have a POTS lines, if you still have POTS lines, you could probably figure out just by like using a voltmeter. But I've labeled these positive here, and that's, I can't even show you because I hot glued this so it wouldn't strain and like come off, because I had soldered and I don't want the solder job to be all messed up. So, but just know that one of these pins here correlates to the positive of the telephone line, and one of them correlates to the negative, and you make sure that they are matching essentially, because you don't want them to be reversed, because that would not be good. And lots of bad things would probably happen. There's 10 terminals here, so this is just the random ass terminal block I'm using, and I'm just going to screw that wire down. I was just kind of like, I don't even know why I took that off, honestly. But yeah, so we have wired our thing up. This is taped to the cable. We are going to go ahead and power this thing on, finally. A second to show you all the shit that I have here. Gosh. It is awesome to have a tripod again. Oh, this thing still sucks. Alright. Alright, let's put this thing up here now. This is where my telecom stuff's gonna end up going eventually, once I get all this stuff figured out. I have lots and lots and lots of telecom stuff from a telecom company. Oh god, that was getting rid of a bunch of their stuff because they're no longer doing. They're no longer running analog stuff anymore, and they are doing everything digital, IPTV. So I have a lot of TV stuff that I'm going to do videos on in the future, but this is what we're working on right now. I'm going to scratch the hell out of this table, but I don't care. Alright, so you got all your wires connected, got this thing plugged in. Now, the next question is, how in the hell do we hook this thing up to that? Excuse the scanner here. I don't know why I have this thing over here. It's gonna go on top of something else. Jesus Christ. Alright, we gotta figure out how to connect it over here now to this lovely equipment that I have. And you can see the rest of the basement is an absolute mess. I'm going to now edit that out. Okay. Cool. Still sucks. So I just have, there's the networks here. I'm not going to really go into too much detail, but I'm just going to be hooking this up to the main network that I have, plus to, I believe, this network here. I had all three hooked up, and I'm just going to hook them up the same way just because that worked last time. So give me a second to find that picture. Alright, so I figured it out. So this bottom one here is going to the corporate net, which is just my 10 dot whatever network. This one is going to, on the bottom, the port number 2. Port 2 is hooked up to this switch I have over here, which does absolutely nothing because I don't even think I had that network working. So, how the fuck did I get this thing to work? I don't know. We'll figure it out. And this guy's going to port 3, so let's plug them all in. Port 2. Alright, there's port 3. So we're all plugged in now. We're going to go through boot up sequence. This thing is awesome when it boots up. So we're going to show you that now here. Let's get, oh wait, actually first, before you turn any of this shit on, nor the weather radio that's broken. Before we do any of that, make sure your wires are secure and not touching each other, because this is 48 volts and don't want to fry the actual, DSLAM, because it's our valuable equipment that we got for free. And can't really get that anymore because it's can't really buy them online even. So this is stupid, but I have this little C-clamp from my childhood toolbox, and I'm using a Lego piece to clamp this this wire down. It's the most ingenuitive fucking thing ever. I just gotta figure out how to do it again here. So, all right, put the damn thing in now. Oh shit. Forgot there's fans on the side. So I just kind of suffocated it a little bit. And it does turn the fan off, and then it'll start again because it has to go into its memory and load stuff from memory and all kind of shit. So there's the middle light in there that was yellow just turned off, indicating that there's no more alarms because both of our uplink and downlink ports are connected. Currently what's happening here is there's 48 volts on each and every single line being output. So there's 24 lines in total, that is being output on this. All 24 lines have 48 volts that being sent down that wire to your customer end. And as you can see, none of our nodes are up because we don't have any DSL connected or configured. This is a I have no idea. Oh, AT&T branded telephone handset. I'm just gonna plug this into our line that we configured down here, and as you can see, we've got 48 volts, so the phone is lit up, and there's dial tone. I think the microphone is there. I might be wrong. If it's not, then it's over here, or it's down here. Oh, shit. That was quick. So yeah, I'm gonna connect it to the telephone switch that I know works, and we're gonna move upstairs to the boring part, configuring everything. Let's get right on to it. Alright, so this is what it looks like when you get in. You'll see the device name up here. So this is the main console page that you're going to get, and it basically has the same layout as the console itself. So yeah, it's got all the admin stuff here, which ports are active, but that's not too important. So we're going to go to configuration, and we're going to go to IP. I don't know any of this stuff. I can't, when I delete, actually I can't even delete this. But a lot of this stuff is kind of really messed up. I can't really figure out the workings of this device. I'm sure some telecom people out there that use DZS or Zhone stuff probably know how to configure this device properly. I don't even know how to factory reset it. So I'm not going to try because I'll probably brick it with my knowledge. But the best thing I can do is to get this device to kind of work the way as it is. And that's what I have done. So there's just a bunch of stuff here. And I apologize, this mouse I'm using is actually Shit. Okay, now that we're back on track, we go to port here and we can take a look at Ethernet, and that's going to show you which ports are up and down. We got management, and I got that up, and yeah, the voice. Go to system here, voice over IP servers. This is the one server that I have. I am going to throw this mouse off a cliff, I swear. Like, I don't have a good quality mouse. This is so painful. I'm gonna steal another mouse from up there. Alright. So we're gonna create a new server. This is gonna be IP. Make sure it says SIP. And the server address is gonna be our 10.0.2.11. So 10.0.2.11. 5060 is your port for this. It's going to be asterisk. I don't know if that matters at all, but I'm just going to leave that. Leave domain blank. I don't think you need that. And DTMF code, make sure it's RFC. In-band is weird. It's like processing over the network. It's kind of strange. So, oh wait. If we click on that, we can get some more options. So the expires invites, so you can set some other stuff here, session timers and other things. Customer, I'm just going to create this guy. So your server's been added. And again, this is going to automatically reboot probably. But we're going to come down to dial plan here, and we're going to make a dial plan. Click on create here, and destination IP is 10.0.2.11. Dial string, there's an elaborate dial string you should be putting in here. I'm just going to leave that default because I've gotten it to work like that before. Make sure this is the IP address that we're going to be running our server for. You can add multiple servers, I believe, but I haven't done that successfully yet. We can create our dial plan now. Click on OK. Dial plan has been created. Go down to connections, create. And this is where we're actually specifying a port number. We're port number 2, IP interface. This one, actually that might even be wrong, so I might have to change that. Because I don't know if I have it configured for this network or a different. I'm just gonna, for whatever reason, whatever they did, whatever has been done to this device to get it to work with its uplinks and stuff, I just can't figure it out, and I don't know how to do it correctly. So this is the phone number I decided to go with. This is configured in my Asterisk server. So my Asterisk server is a headless based Asterisk system. So you have to set up your own Asterisk server if you want to do anything like this. I don't know if FreePBX will cut it. I used to use FreePBX before I knew how to do anything, and it was such a pain in the butt. I feel like FreePBX is more of a PBX system. It's not really designed to do what I was doing or wanted to do with it, so that's why I ultimately decided I'm just using plain Asterisk. Because with Asterisk you can like make your own phone numbers up and stuff. But this, obviously this Zhone thing isn't even going to be on this server that I'm configuring now. This is just showing you that this works and how to do it. Oh, and I just broke a stress ball here, so give me 1 second. Shit everywhere. So now that we have done that, there's some other things you can configure here. I'm not going to touch any of this stuff. There's also fax, which is very important for us because we're going to be doing dial-up, and that's going to be required for when we do dial-up. So now we've added our line. We've got our downlink slot, which is, I don't know what the heck that even means, but yeah, so we click apply, click on OK. This is going to reboot the server, and I'm not even set up for this to show that. Okay, so it's not doing what I expected it to do, so I think we're going to probably reboot the thing. And to do that, we come up to, where the how do I go again? System device reboot. So we're gonna reboot. It's gonna apply the configuration we put in, and hopefully we'll see some stuff come up. It's gonna take about 3 minutes. All right, so it is showing connected here, along with this number here, which is the ATA that I have. So we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna dial some telephones now. All right, so we're back down into the server room. And I have gone ahead and connected up the this other telephone I have here. It's an older-fashioned rotary-style telephone. And I got this other phone hooked up to my ATA in the back here. And 2 wires coming out of that one. There's another phone somewhere else. So we're going to go ahead and make a call now to this telephone. This telephone's hooked up to the DSLAM, and this other telephone here is hooked up to that ATA I was talking about. So number is the number to dial is 30109820039. Of course, the call can't be completed as dialed. Hello? 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 So that works. And because this is rotary dial, it's pulse dialing instead of DTMF. So this DSLAM can actually convert that pulse dialing to today's numbers. Today's SIP translated number. So we're going to dial the number for that telephone here. And we're going to actually block the first couple digits dialing so that you don't see them. Alright, we're going to answer. You'll notice the network light goes on. Check 1 2, check 1 2, test 1 2. I'm trying to see if you can hear this. Check 1 2, test 1 2, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. ABCDEFG. So it is working. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. We successfully got a telephone working on this on this DSLAM voice over IP server system. This is gonna be I'm gonna be connecting this to one of those old-fashioned telephone collectors networks type things, and I'm going to have some services offered on there, such as dial-up and bulletin boards and old telephones like this that you can call. That'll be a video way into the future regarding that stuff, and it probably will just be an overview. But that's going to be it for this video. Look out for the sister video for this one where we actually configure the DSL ports. Because I have 2 DSL modems that I can use, or try to use with this. Both ADSL. This is a VDSL DSLAM, but it should work because ADSL is the predecessor to VDSL. VDSL is actually higher speed than ADSL is. I don't have any VDSL modems that I know of, and I would have to go back to my buddy and ask him for that one that he has. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more content, and like and subscribe.